Tony Armitage, a night watchman at the International Museum of Cultural Masks, begins his solitary shift surrounded by artifacts that whisper of ancient civilizations. Once a history teacher, he finds solace in these intricate masks, each a haunting reminder of a past he lost. As he drifts through the dimly lit halls, the creaking floorboards echo his thoughts, merging with the emotional weight of every tale trapped within the museum's walls. A deep sense of melancholy envelops him. He feels both honored and burdened by the mask's silent demands. The air grows thick with anticipation, as if the very exhibits yearn to share their secrets. Tonight, among the vibrant colors and carved faces, Tony unwittingly steps into a realm where stories come alive, and the boundaries between history and the present begin to blur. Little does he know, the night holds more than memories. It harbors a plea for remembrance. Tony navigates the expansive, creaky museum, the echo of his footsteps merging with the faint whispers of the past. Each exhibit comes alive as he notices the intricate designs and vibrant colors of the masks that adorn the walls, each telling a unique story. He shares anecdotes about their origins, recounting legends rooted in diverse cultures that span continents. As he walks, he feels the weight of history in every artifact, reflecting on how these masks served ceremonial purposes and connected communities. Tony pauses to admire a particularly striking piece, its craftsmanship stirring a deep emotional resonance within him. The air buzzes with stories yet to be told, drawing him further into the pulsating heart of the museum. It is in this moment of awakening that he begins to sense an otherworldly presence, and the air thickens with anticipation. Tonight promises to unveil secrets hidden deep within these cultural treasures. As Tony immerses himself in the vibrant stories woven through the masks, an unsettling feeling begins to envelop him. The museum, once a sanctuary, morphs into a labyrinth of echoes. Voices whisper just beyond his comprehension, their murmurs swirling through the dim hallways, teasing at the edges of his consciousness. Tony pauses, heart racing, as he tries to discern the source of the captivating yet eerie sensations. Each step he takes seems to amplify the unseen vibrations resonating against the cool stone walls. The atmosphere crackles with electric tension, igniting his curiosity and fear alike. He steadies himself, determined to uncover the meaning behind these disembodied voices that call to him. With every breath, he feels the weight of their unseen presence, coaxing him deeper into an extraordinary experience where the line between the past and present blurs ominously with each passing moment. As Tony continues his rounds, he halts before an imposing mask from an indigenous tribe, its intricacies drawing him closer. Something about its gaze feels different, as if it were alive, shifting the atmosphere around him. This moment ignites a flicker of recognition. He recalls the stories associated with the artifact, tales of brave ancestors and rituals that bridged worlds. Driven by an inexplicable urge, he reaches out, his fingers tracing the carved features, and a rush of vivid memories surges through him. The air thickens with meaning, and he becomes enveloped in a tapestry of cultural memories begging to be awakened. His senses heighten, compelling him to uncover the deeper narratives entwined with this mask. This singular moment of connection feels pivotal, as if the stories he once believed were mere history are now poised to tell themselves anew. Tony stood, entranced before the indigenous mask, as vibrant imagery flooded his mind. He glimpsed a ceremonial dance, witnesses to its sacredness circling in a rhythm that resonated through time. The energy enveloped him, and he felt the spirit's presence move within the walls, urging him to listen. Each intricate detail of the mask seemed to pulse with life, a call from the past that transcended mere observation. Suddenly, the threads of his reality tangled with poignant memories, visions of struggles, resilience, and celebration, fueling an urgency within him. His role as a passive observer began to feel inadequate, for he could sense the yearning for recognition and respect emanating from the mask. In this profound connectedness, the boundaries between himself and the spirits blurred, revealing the weight of their untold stories. It was clear now, he had been chosen to be their voice in the living world. The atmosphere in the museum thickens with an unsettling intensity, and as Tony's heart quickens, the faint impressions shift into coherent voices. He strains to understand their calls, each recounting struggles and triumphs steeped in rich cultural heritage. Tales of sacrifice and resilience unfurl like banners against the encroaching darkness, echoing through the exhibit halls. Tony becomes increasingly aware that these voices belong to the very spirits tied to the artifacts he has revered for so long. Their collective longing to share their histories radiates like an electric pulse, urging him to pay heed. He is no longer just a guardian of relics, but now a vessel for the stories aching to be heard. As dawn approaches, he realizes the urgent necessity of his role. These narratives must not fade into silence, for they hold the essence of a culture yearning for immortality. The weight of responsibility settled heavily on Tony. He understood, with a deepening realization, that the spirits could vanish into obscurity unless their stories were shared and honored. Each mask in the museum housed a legacy that needed to be preserved, and he felt a profound moral obligation to act as their storyteller. The conflict within him grew as he considered what this duty entailed, risking the comfort of his ordinary life and embracing a path lined with uncertainty. The call of the spirits demanded courage, drawing him to confront not just their stories but his own past as well. As the museum became a vibrant tapestry of voices urging him forward, Tony resolved that he would not let their narratives fade away. He would be the bridge, the witness, ensuring that these legacies would echo through time. The dawn of a new purpose began to illuminate his path. With the weight of unresolved histories pressing down on him, Tony resolved to delve deeper into the stories of each mask. Collecting books and combing through online archives, he sought to unearth the cultural narratives that had shaped these artifacts. In the dim light of the museum, he turned on an old tape recorder, its familiar whirring providing a comforting backdrop as he began documenting the voices he had heard. Each recording became a vessel, a lifeline for the memories he was gathering, whispers of the past intertwining with the present. As he spoke the words into existence, the spirits seemed to rise around him, their urgency palpable. This act of preservation ignited a fire within him. He realized he was no longer merely a night watchman, but a custodian of stories, embarking on a journey to share the living heritage of those who had come before. The air crackled with urgency as Tony delved deeper into the rich tapestry of cultural significance woven within each mask. The once invisible spirits now surged around him, their insistence palpable as they urged him to uncover the socio-political narratives that had shaped their stories. With every new discovery, he felt their histories intertwining with his own, revealing the intricate connections between past and present. Tony's resolve strengthened. He understood that these were not just artifacts, but powerful symbols of resilience steeped in the collective memory of their people. Each tale he unearthed reinforced his mission, making the weight of his responsibility clearer. The spirit's essence filled the room, imbuing every detail with urgency and meaning. In this moment of revelation, he knew that he was not just a keeper of artifacts, but a vital link to the voices longing to be heard. The journey into their stories was just beginning. Tony absorbed the stories of the masks, feeling the unease expand beyond simple curiosity. On a stormy night, as wind howled against the museum's windows, the air thickened and the whispers turned distinct, forming words of plea. The voices converged around him, each carrying the weight of a narrative longing to be told. What emerged was a singular spirit, resonating with urgency, offering him something transcendent, a chance at immortality in exchange for his service. Caught between fear and fascination, he pondered the implications of such a bond, questioning his purpose. Doubts surfaced as he weighed sacrifice against desire. The museum's walls seemed to pulse, urging him to make a choice that would intertwine his fate with theirs. Tony felt the impending climax of his journey build as he prepared to confront what it truly meant to step into the roles of both guardian and storyteller, forever altering his path. As Tony stood at the precipice of this pivotal moment, he felt an overwhelming surge of emotions cascading through him like a wave. Memories intertwined with the spirit's solemn pleas, revealing their deep-seated struggles with legacy and identity. Each echo resonated with a distinct yearning, underscoring the weight of what it meant to carry their histories. In that profound stillness, he grasped the essence of their plight, feeling their burdens and unresolved narratives pressing against him. With newfound empathy, Tony recognized that these spirits were not merely tales waiting to be unraveled. They represented a collective hope for acknowledgement and understanding. Bound by their untold stories, they sought release through his voice, urging him to champion their lives and experiences. It dawned on him that his role extended far beyond mere observation. It was now about deepening the connection with those longing for remembrance. The spirits surrounded Tony, their voices intertwining in a harmonized plea for help, each echoing their desperation to share their rich stories with the world beyond the museum's confines. His heart raced as he grappled with the weight of their requests, feeling the tension between his yearning for the comfort of normalcy and the profound calling to honor their narratives. The connection he had fostered with them felt both exhilarating and daunting, urging him to step beyond his fears. Each tale held the power to break the silence that had bound them, yet it demanded sacrifice from him, his comfort and certainty in exchange for their liberation. As the whispers intensified, Tony was forcefully reminded of the urgency that permeated the air around him. He understood now that his journey had reached a critical juncture. To find peace for both himself and the spirits, he must embrace the responsibility laid before him. In this climactic moment, the spirits unveiled their intertwined fates, revealing the intricate tapestry of their stories. They spoke of past struggles and quiet resilience, emphasizing the urgency of their narrative, a plea for acknowledgement that resonated deeply within Tony. He could feel their collective sighs, a mixture of relief and hope, urging him to take action. With a newfound sense of purpose igniting within him, Tony grasped the heaviness in the air, recognizing it as a call to legacy. The tales that had lingered in silence now sought a voice, and he was determined to be that conduit. The weight of history hung almost palpably around him, intertwining his fate with theirs. As he resolved to honor their memories and share their stories, the night deepened with anticipation, each heartbeat echoing the promise of connection to the past. He was ready to help them find their peace. As dawn's first light began to filter through the museum's windows, Tony felt a transformative energy enveloping him. With a deep breath, he took the old tape recorder in hand, understanding the magnitude of the task ahead. Each story he would record was a sacred promise to the spirits, a commitment to bring forth their truths into the world. He began to speak, his voice steady yet filled with emotion, giving life to narratives that had long been silenced. As he wove their tales, an overwhelming sense of gratitude washed over him. He could feel the burdens lifting, the weight of their histories now transmuted into words. In sharing their stories, he sensed their spirits rejoicing, a chorus of relief resonating in the air. With every word spoken, Tony knew he was forging an unbreakable bond, one that transcended time and space. He stood resolute. Now their stories would no longer remain unheard. Stepping through the museum's entryway, Tony's heart swelled with purpose. The weight of unspoken legacies now a guiding force in his life. He felt the spirits lingering with him, their gratitude a warm cloak against the cool morning air. As he looked back at the grand structure that had held their stories captive, he vowed to take on the mantle of storyteller. No longer just a watchman, Tony would become an advocate for the voices that had called to him. He envisioned community gatherings, presentations, and educational programs that would bridge the gap between the past and present, allowing these rich cultures to breathe anew. His commitment felt electric, igniting a flame of inspiration within him. With each step toward the world outside, he knew he was not leaving the masks behind. Instead, he was carrying them forward, ensuring their tales would echo through generations to come.